Hey everyone, I'm Tori Johnson in New York, and this is Job Club. My first guest is a new media host, producer, and super strategist who specializes in all things social media. Amber Mack has a brand new book, Power Friending, Demystifying Social Media to Grow Your Business. And she joins me now from Toronto. Hey Amber.
Hi there, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So for those people who are really just starting out with social media as a tool to either launch or grow their business, what is the very first thing that you want them to do?
Well, as tempting as it might be to sign up for Twitter and Facebook and get started, the first thing you want to do is to create a plan. Now, this does not have to be a 50-page plan. It can be just a short document, just a couple of pages where you establish what your goals are, you decide what tools you're going to use, and you decide what success means for you. And that means you figure out a way that you're going to determine if you're successful and measure your traffic and figure out if your social media initiative is working.
Okay, so you've got that plan in place, and then is it about beginning to build a following?
Yes, what you want to do is to try to build a following and build relationships online. So you want to figure out a way that you can engage with your target audience. So find out where they're spending time on multiple social media sites and start to have conversations with them. And that is increasingly important. People really want to be able to talk to businesses. And so you want to make sure that you have a presence across these multiple social media websites, and you start to find people who you might have conversations with, who might be customers, who might be clients, and talk about things that will be interesting to them. You don't just want to use these tools as a broadcast mechanism to try to sell something. You also want to try to have personal conversations.
And when you're having those conversations, I know that you say it's so important. We can't overestimate or underestimate how important it is to be authentic. It's essential.
It is really important. I think more and more people want to talk to companies who aren't just faceless companies. They want to talk to individuals. So it's important that you speak in a real voice, you're transparent, you don't try to be more than you are, to really just have a real live person with a personality who is the face of all of your social media efforts. So if you're a small business, hey, it's okay for you to be the one who goes onto these different websites, for you to put your name and associate your name with these multiple social media accounts and talk about things that you like outside of maybe what you're trying to sell when you're trying to get customers or clients.
Next, you say we have to be consistent. How so?
Well, think of it like this. So we all know that when we want to lose weight and we want to get in shape, if we only go to the gym once a month, we really aren't going to see the results that we want to see. And the same thing applies to the social media space. It's not okay just to participate once a week or once every couple of weeks. You want to make sure that within your plan you decide how much you're going to participate across these sites and that you consistently update the sites. This doesn't mean that you have to blog every single day, but maybe blog 2 or 3 times a week. Maybe respond to people on Twitter a few times a week. Post a video a couple of times a week if possible. And so the idea is that consistently, week after week, you really are growing your community across these sites, and there isn't really a time that you disappear altogether.
Sure, sure. And then you say we have to create a policy. What kind of policy? What does that mean?
Well, it doesn't matter if you're a small business just with a couple of employees or if you're a business who has hundreds of employees. When you start to engage in the social media space, it's really important that you have rules for engagement. And this means you establish a policy. It, again, can just be one page where you determine how you're going to talk across these multiple social media sites, what you're going to do about negative feedback, how you're going to address it. And you really want this guideline in place. So if you have employees who are wondering, hey, can I talk about our brand in a public space on Facebook? Well, they can refer to this policy and they can decide the appropriate way to be able to talk about your brand and what they can and can't do. And this will help you really avoid a social media disaster, because let's face it, none of us want one of those.
Right. And listening is critical. And this really goes back to your first point about having those conversations and being really authentic. It's not just about putting out your messages, but it's also listening to what those people follow you and those people who engage with you, what they have to say.
Mm-hmm. I can't stress enough how important it is to listen to conversations that are happening about your business or about your brand. And there are a lot of really easy ways to do this online. For instance, for free, you can sign up for Google Alerts, and that allows you to get messages sent to you on a daily basis. You can input key terms or your business's name, and you can get sent a message anytime someone is talking about your brand online. So you're listening to conversations that are happening out there already. Again, you don't want to use these tools to broadcast what you're trying to sell all the time. You want to find out what people think about your your company. It doesn't matter if you're a small or a large company. People are out there talking about what you do, and you want to make sure that you can connect with these people, and maybe, possibly down the road, they can even be brand ambassadors, so people who will help spread the message about your business.
There are a lot of small business who I've heard say that they're spending so much time engaging on Twitter and Facebook that they're not doing enough activity on their own websites. And they're concerned about how do they get some of those fans and followers to come to their own site and engage there, maybe on their own blog on their website, or just to connect with them through their website. What would you tell them?
That is a really important point, because there's so much buzz out there about some of the big social media sites, again, like Twitter and Facebook, that sometimes businesses forget that their website is really the home base for all of their social media efforts. And so they need to spend time making sure that their website looks good, that there's a blog there where people can comment, and there's constantly new content there. And these websites tend to get neglected on a regular basis. Businesses forget about them, and they go outwards to engage with community online. But think about it. If a site like Twitter isn't around 6 months down the road or a year down the road, if you have just depended completely on that site, you're really at a disadvantage. You want to make sure that you really nurture your home base, which is your main website online.
Absolutely. All right. Well, once again, the book is called Power Friending: Demystifying Social Media to Grow Your Business.